Tonight, we're going to give you a glimpse into the future of driving. Washington, like many other states, is exploring options that years from now would replace the gas tax.
And the most intriguing option involves paying the state a small fee for every mile you drive. How would it work? King 5's Joe Fryer traveled to Oregon, the first state to test that idea.
We're looking pretty good out there. Still a little sluggish on the west side. Sunset inbound.
For 50 Oregon drivers,
217 in pretty good shape.
the open road is no longer a free ride.
Note that I-5 still a little sluggish.
Every mile comes with a small price tag.
Let me pull it out.
Oh, here it is.
And this tiny device in their car
That's it.
is what's keeping track
Okay, there it is.
of their bill.
No more than that.
It looks like an ink cartridge, but this little piece of technology could gradually help Oregon replace the endangered gas tax.
And the gas tax is a perfect tax.
That tax, 30 cents a gallon in
It
Oregon,
is easy to collect. You collect it up front.
funds more than half the budget used to take care of the state's roads.
Roads require money to keep them up.
But,
We have a growing problem.
Cars are getting more efficient.
which means the gas tax will generate less and less money over time.
And if we're using gasoline and diesel sales to fund our transportation system, we're going to be in big trouble.
Oregon started studying alternatives to the gas tax 12 years ago, and in 2006 tested new technology that used GPS to charge people for how many miles they drove.
And it kind of caught the attention of the nation because, nobody had ever heard of such a thing before.
Jim Whitty with Oregon's Department of Transportation says the technology worked, but concerns about privacy followed. So
We redesigned it dramatically.
today, 50 volunteers are taking part in a new pilot project with more choices.
Here we got option 1, option 2, and option 3. How's that?
Let's start with option 3, which does use GPS. Mary Olson, who sits on the state's Transportation Commission, picked that option
It knows where I am.
because the device can actually tell if she's driving out of state or on private roads, including parking lots. When the bill comes, it notes how many total miles she drove, but only charges her for the ones on Oregon public roads.
So I was pleasantly surprised when I got my first month's billing, and it was incredibly accurate.
But she understands that's not for everyone.
First of all, you have the privacy issues, and they're not to be dismissed.
So they have other options with no GPS.
We really are pioneering this.
Patrick Cooney is testing a basic device that acts more like an odometer. It counts miles but won't credit him if he leaves the state.
But the basic works just fine for me.
Another option links to the GPS that's already in your smartphone.
So that if you say want to drive out of state and want to have those miles excluded from taxation, you simply activate the app.
And those who want to skip the technology altogether can just pay an annual flat fee.
By giving people choices, you get greater acceptance. You also solve the privacy issue because now the government isn't picking a box that everybody's suspicious about.
This year, Oregon could turn the program into law, but it would only apply to vehicles getting at least 55 miles per gallon of gas.
I think it's going to be a debate, but I think it's one that we'll be able to come to consensus on.
State Representative Tobias Reed says the goal is to gently transition Oregon into this new system over the course of many years.
Getting people comfortable with the idea.
They'd start with highly efficient vehicles made in 2015 or later.
This is my Nissan Leaf.
That would include the newest electric cars, something near and dear to Gary Gronke's heart.
Probably the best thing to say is it's 100% electric.
Right now, he pays no gas tax, but still uses public roads.
Most of us want to pay our fair share. We don't want to be labeled as skirters.
The question is, how much should they be charged?
As long as the number is a fair number.
This is a statement that I received on January 7th.
For the pilot, Oregon is charging 1.5 cents a mile, then giving drivers credit for the gas tax they paid.
It's a push.
So far, Olson is basically breaking even.
This is not going to be in addition to gas tax. I've gotten some reaction from constituents saying, now you're going to make me pay on top. No, it's a replacement mechanism.
Still, it won't be an easy sell.
It's bureaucracy, bureaucracy, bureaucracy.
Brent Dowdy is president of Mercury PDX, a Portland courier company.
I don't like any more intrusion in my life.
While his fleet likely won't qualify for the mileage charge anytime soon, he's still opposed.
Here we come. You go get a nice new car that's very efficient, and here comes the tax man. And I don't like that.
So far, we haven't come up with a better idea.
But supporters like Olson feel the long road to a gas tax alternative starts here.
And it will be a long transition,
In Oregon's pilot, the GPS options are operated by a private vendor so the government wouldn't have access to drivers' coordinates. In order for Oregon to pass this law, it would need a 3/5 majority in the legislature, which won't be easy. Now, Washington isn't just paying close attention to this pilot. Some people in Washington are actually taking part in the pilot, though at this point, our state is quite a few years behind Oregon when it comes to exploring this idea.